With October in full swing, there's a chill in the air, and down our spines. The more I see Halloween costumes for sale and decorations in houses, the more it makes me think about the darker elements of our beloved Zelda franchise. And trust me, there is no shortage. One of the creepiest backstories to a people group in The Legend of Zelda is the Sheikah. We know these people as benevolent protectors of the royal family, and that's absolutely correct. In Breath of the Wild, we see they've spared no expense with technological advancements. We can see the Guardians, advanced weapons meant to defend the royal family, the Resurrection Chamber, which was used to restore Link to his full strength and in so doing save Hyrule, and the Sheikah monks who have lived for thousands of years out of service to Hylia. But when we study how they arrived at some of this technology, namely their ability to preserve life indefinitely, things begin to take a sinister tone. To some of you watching, this video will mostly hold nothing new. To those people, I'd advise you to share your knowledge with those in the comments or continue watching to see if maybe there's something you didn't know here. But to the majority of you who have only played Breath of the Wild, this will be shocking. There is a dark past behind the Sheikah, and today, we're going to explore Hyrule's bloody history of greed and hatred. To explore the Sheikah's dark history and understand how they discovered the secrets to immortality, we're going to go back in time, back to the Ocarina of Time, back to a little town called Kakariko Village. This seemingly peaceful town, full of perfectly normal-looking inhabitants, is home to some of the darkest backstory in Zelda history. Before it was open to the general public, Kakariko Village was much like the one depicted in Breath of the Wild. It was exclusively a Sheikah-inhabited village. The Sheikah people chose this location because of its close proximity to Hyrule Castle, and more than likely had numerous underground tunnels routing to and from the castle itself. Prior to the events of Ocarina of Time, the Sheikah leader known as Impa opened the village to the general public, as a way of masking what the village once was and the things that once happened there. You see, long ago, in the Hyrulean Civil War, there arose those that would try to dethrone the royal family, who were appointed by Hylia as the family destined to protect the Triforce and the Sacred Realm. The Sheikah, who are known as the Shadow Folk, and whose purpose is to protect the royal family, took things into their own hands when it came to the Civil War. Enemies of the royal family were not executed, but rather taken to their secret temple for interrogations, or worse. I'm referring, of course, to the Shadow Temple, a dungeon that we know was built by Sheikah based on its symbolism, location, and the use of Zelda's lullaby to unlock key functions within the dungeon. When Link explores the temple in-game, you can see many disturbing artifacts and tools that were once used by the Sheikah themselves. There are large guillotines for execution of prisoners, horrifying monsters that may have been the result of failed experiments, skeletons whose spirits linger on, acid pools with hands desperately reaching out, and many bloodstains throughout the dungeon. The spirits of the dead within the temple can be heard sometimes. One of the most memorable quotes from one of these spirits is about the Shadow Temple itself. It describes the Shadow Temple as a gathering of Hyrule's bloody history of greed and hatred. There are numerous references to unknown deities, such as these ominous faces in the walls or the horned raven statues. The raven historically symbolizes death, and the horns are symbolic of demons in the Zelda franchise, like the horn statue in Hateno Village. It is possible that the Sheikah worshipped a demon of death in this place. The temple boss, Bongo Bongo, the Phantom Shadow Beast, is speculated to have been a member of the Sheikah that lived in a house located where the well stands now. He is rumored to have either betrayed or stolen from the royal family, which would have led to his torture on the devices we see at the bottom of the well, as well as his hands being cut off, which was historically the punishment for a thief in ancient times. He could also have made a bargain with this death demon after his passing to then become the dark spirit Bongo Bongo, which Impa tried to seal at the bottom of the well, only for him to eventually break out and be defeated in the Shadow Temple by the hero. The dark things that happened in this temple were not ordained by the royal family at all. According to the Hyrule Encyclopedia, which reads that because it stands as a symbol of Hyrule's dark history, it is taboo for the royal family to speak of this temple in its horrific purpose. We can infer that the royal family most likely did not know about its existence and, upon finding out about the horrors that happened there, is the reason why the temple is inactive and is not used anymore. So how does this brutality, torture, and bloodshed relate to the Sheikah technology we see in Breath of the Wild. A key component to understanding this is that there is a certain kind of enemy in the Shadow Temple that hasn't appeared in the timeline before Ocarina of Time, and that is the Redead. Redeads are zombified, humanoid enemies that are dark brown in appearance and wear wooden masks. In this game, they appear to be blind, yet can still paralyze Link with their gaze if they hear him moving. Their only drive seems to be a desire for human flesh. Their presence in this unknown dungeon speaks volumes of the atrocities committed here. The Sheikah were experimenting with their tortured prisoners. They were trying to create eternal life, and they were praying to a death god to make it happen. This may even explain the existence of luminous rocks, which are infused with the souls of the dead. We also see that they continue to experiment and improve their mummification process, even after the royal family shut the Shadow Temple down. In The Wind Waker, the Redeads make another appearance within temples, but this time, they're wearing Sheikah jewelry. Their earrings bear an uncanny resemblance to the bracelets that the Sheikah monks in Breath of the Wild are wearing, giving the implication that the Sheikah were now experimenting on themselves. The newer Redeads could now see, but were still mindless and only focused on eating the living. In Breath of the Wild, they were eventually successful in creating Redeads, also known as the monks, that retained their memories and knowledge, and even created one monk in particular that seemingly retained all bodily function and memory. We can see from their end product that their strivings for eternal life were noble. In the end, they used the culmination of their knowledge to create the monks that would serve Hylia thousands of years in the future. They appear to have been successful in their dealings with the dead, but at what cost? The Shadow Temple stands as the reminder of the Sheikah's hatred for the enemies of the royal family and greed of the eternal life of the gods. Even though their evil deeds ultimately led to their ability to serve Hylia long after death, does this justify their dark stain on Hyrule's history? Do they still have secrets hidden under the surface we can see in Breath of the Wild? If these topics interest you, check out another video I made a while back about the Sheikah and Calamity Ganon. I'll link it in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like as that will greatly help the channel out, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already for much more juicy content to come. Leave a comment letting me know what you think. As I mentioned before, October is a time for spooky stuff, so if you want more spooky Zelda content, be sure to stick around. So I've noticed recently that either you guys are incredibly smart or I'm just really bad at making these thumbnail teasers, but again, it was guessed almost immediately by the user named Noah in my Discord server. So Noah, congratulations, leave us a comment below proclaiming your victory to everybody else. And for those of you waiting for next week's teaser, know that I'm definitely going to be making these harder from now on. I think I know what I've been missing, and I'm going to leave fewer hints so that less people get it right off the bat. Huge shout out to my newest fan art coming from the user named either TM or Shadow is Fine in my Discord server. This piece is especially adorable and may actually be my current phone background. As always, thank you Patreon supporters so much for supporting the channel, and for those of you in the Discord server for letting me be a witness to your humor, theories, and talent. If you're interested in the support tiers or in joining the Discord server and chatting it up with the best of us, then please visit the description below for links to both of these things. That's all I've got for you today, so as always, you guys have a great rest of your day. Keep it chilly, folks. This is Masked Nintendo Bandit signing out. Peace!